Today, Missoula County lost 2 more people to COVID-19, marking 39 people who have died since the pandemic reached the state in March. And tonight, almost 1,100 of the state's nearly 18,000 active cases are here in Missoula. But as we continue to contend with this pandemic, emergency medical response, like everything else, looks quite different. KPAX's Megan Mannering explains how this pandemic has amped up their workload.
Lights flashing, sirens blaring. At the first sign of an ambulance, you know the crew inside is working under incredible pressure.
Yeah, it's definitely taxing at times.
Each year, Missoula's emergency medical service responds to over 10,000 911 dispatches. This year, the calls continue coming in, but something's different.
The quantity of calls has gotten much larger.
Paramedic Supervisor Jeff Welch said that back in March, they would receive 2 to 3 droplet precaution calls each day. Now, those are calls that indicate they could be walking into a potential COVID exposure. Now, they're receiving 10 times as many calls. Welch suspects that the uptick in those calls is related to emerging COVID symptoms.
Let's just say somebody says, all right, I have belly pain. So belly pain is becoming a primary symptom of COVID, that we're finding that just having abdominal pain alone could be a COVID sign. Now, there may be other reasons for that, but those are the people that get super panicky when they have, maybe they have a negative or a positive test, and then they start having symptoms that make them believe that now I have the COVID. So then they call us.
These droplet precaution calls ensure the responders are prepared for COVID exposure. For that, they're very helpful, but they also interfere with the workflow.
If you run a call like that is presumed COVID, or you're taking that COVID concern, that takes you out of service from the rehab side. So you get to the hospital, then you got to do a deeper clean on your ambulance. We have sprayers and we have a fogging machine. We have some stuff that we spray on the ambulance and have to let it sit for time. So the turnaround time has increased.
As someone on the front lines, Welch has seen the pandemic up close and personal on a daily basis. His advice? Just stay home.
It's going to be hard to say I'm going to have to Zoom in with my family eating Thanksgiving dinner, but that's just going to be a thing. You just can't. I think the benefit does not outweigh the risk. I just don't believe it does.
In Missoula, Megan Mannering, MTN News.
Now, although they're experiencing a high call volume, Welch does not want to deter anybody from calling emergency services if you need help.